A new transportation network is under construction in Kuala Lumpur. It is the KV MRT, the Klang Valley Mass Rapid Transit. The KV MRT's first alignment, the Sungai Buloh Kajang line, stretches a distance of 51 kilometers with 31 stations. A major section of the line is constructed above ground, while 9.5 kilometers is built underground. The KV MRT is part of a new transportation model that will change the infrastructure landscape of the Klang Valley.
I wanted a game changer, and I realized that for any modern metropolis to be vibrant, to be competitive, to be on par with some of the leading cities in the world, you've got to have a modern public transport system.
The alignment will traverse through some of the most congested areas in the Klang Valley, challenging Malaysian engineers to deliver one of the most advanced infrastructure projects of the country. Klang Valley or Greater Kuala Lumpur, a fast-growing metropolitan and home to 7 million people, with an expected increase to 10 million by 2020. This city is notorious for its traffic congestions. Every day, about 3 million cars enter the city centre.
We need a good public transport system for Kuala Lumpur and the Klang Valley, because what we had was a public transport system which was not integrated.
In 2010, the Malaysian government initiated the Economic Transformation Program, ETP, to elevate Malaysia into a developed nation by year 2020.
The Economic Transformation Program, the objective of the program is really to transform the economy of Malaysia to become a high-income economy that is inclusive, at the same time sustainable. We could not help but identify Greater Kuala Lumpur or Klang Valley as one of those national areas of focus.
Part of the Economic Transformation Program, ETP, is to construct a mass rapid transit MRT system to create an integrated public transport network.
We were quick to realize that it was just absolutely necessary for us to build a mass rapid transit in Klang Valley. We didn't think there was any other option. We couldn't rely on other forms of transport such as buses and taxis to do it. We really have to move a lot of people within the city so that it becomes a lot more livable.
The MRT system for Greater Kuala Lumpur will first include 2 new MRT lines spanning 103 kilometers, serving a radius of 20 kilometers of the city centre. With the construction of these lines, people will be able to travel between populated residential districts, commercial centres and key employment areas within the Klang Valley. The KV MRT project will play a vital role in creating a vibrant Klang Valley metropolis. Not only will it benefit its residents, but also propel the nation's economy with immense spillover effects on sectors such as the construction-related industries. In July 2011, the Prime Minister of Malaysia, Datuk Seri Najib Tun Razak, launched the biggest infrastructure project ever undertaken. It was his vision to improve the connectivity within the Klang Valley and radically enrich the lives of the people. The KV MRT's first alignment is the Sungai Buloh Kajang line. It will stretch 51 kilometers with 31 new stations, serving a population of 1.2 million people. The majority of the line is constructed above ground, while 9.5 kilometers is built underground. To execute the government's mandate to complete the KV MRT project, MRT Corporation was formed with Datuk Seri Sharil Mokhtar, currently helming the position of the Chief Executive Officer.
Basically, MRT Corp, owned by Minister of Finance Incorporated. So our role is basically as an asset owner, as a project developer. And we are so-called a liaison entity between the project partner and also the government.
On 10th February 2012, MMC Gamuda was appointed as the Project Delivery Partner, or PDP, for the Sungai Buloh Kajang line.
PDP approach is the best approach, again, when it comes to building a major infrastructure project. The key element here is about risk. we basically transfer the risk to the project lead partner in order for them to deliver the job or the project within time, within budget, and they take up most of the risk.
A special MRT Exco committee was also set up to ensure that this project moves swiftly and smoothly.
MRT Exco is very crucial in the whole spectrum of this project. The idea of having this MRT Exco is just to solve issues. It doesn't take long, maximum an hour, once a month. That is a very good platform in order to expedite the project.
But constructing a new transport system in the Klang Valley is not an easy task. Some parts of the KV MRT viaducts and stations weave through highly congested traffic areas. To ensure that all parties, whether it is the community or businesses adjacent to the MRT alignment, are well informed of the construction activities, stakeholder engagements are carried out.
Community engagement to me is a very, very important part of the whole construction process itself, because you can't build something through a community without engaging them.
For Line 1, over 3,000 engagement sessions have been held with residents, resident associations, business people, traders and other groups. To ensure that the construction of the KV MRT will create minimal disturbance, an extensive traffic management plan was put in place.
Before we start any construction, we would have to plan the traffic management meticulously. What we do usually is we sit down in a room and do the desktop planning to tie in with the construction sequence. Then we do simulation.
This is then followed by a trial road closure.
This trial closure is to see what is the impact when we actually do it. This is done to validate our study and our simulation. Once the trial is successful, then we go for full implementation.
One of the most challenging traffic diversions ever to be implemented is at the Persiaran Surian nearby Sunway Giza. This is due to simultaneous construction of an underpass.
That particular area, we are building the station. We are also building an underpass for the local authority, which is part of the project. And we have had to do the traffic management in 2 major stages. In all this, we have a traffic management team on standby 24 hours to make sure that nothing goes wrong. If there's anything that we did not plan earlier, then we can take care of that immediately.
Road user safety is always the #1 priority.
Our work should not put the public at risk, and therefore that's why we would close roads. We would hold up traffic. Yes, it's an inconvenience, but it's for the safety of the public.
The elevated section consists of 1,400 piers to support 17,000 segmental box girders that form the viaducts. There are 24 elevated stations and 2 depots, one at Sungai Buloh and another at Kajang. To ensure the success of this project, a strict procurement process was implemented. Companies were subjected to stringent evaluations to ensure that only the best, most experienced and competitive contractors were selected. There are 8 different work packages in the elevated section, divided into the northern package, which runs from Sungai Buloh to Semantan, and the southern package, which runs from Cheras to Kajang. 400-ton launching gantries were used to build permanent viaduct guideways by erecting the segmental box girders or SBGs.
The gantry is basically a sort of a crane lifting mechanism. It lifts all the units together. It aligns them so they're all in a nice line. And at our peak, we had 21 gantries. That's a lot of gantries.
The elevated guideways have to be built over existing roads and overpasses, making construction a challenge.
The alignment itself must pass above the existing structure, name it a bridge or the highway. We have to pass above it.
At certain areas, the viaducts are built at extreme heights.
When we talk about the gradient or the slope for a road, it can go up to 10%. But for train, it cannot go more than 3% because the way the train operates. Okay? Otherwise, on rainy days, it will slip. That's why some areas you will see that the piers will be very, very high to make sure that the vertical alignment is maintained throughout the whole stretch.
While majority of the line is built above ground, 1/5 of the Sungai Buloh Kajang line is constructed below ground. This is the biggest challenge faced by the construction team. The KV MRT's first alignment, the Sungai Buloh Kajang line, stretches a distance of 51 kilometers. To accommodate the construction within the city centre, 9.5 kilometers of the alignment is underground.
For city centres, really the best thing is to put it underground. You don't have to demolish too many buildings. We're not looking to destroy areas, we're looking to enhance areas.
The design and construction of the underground works was awarded to MMC Gamuda KV MRT Tunnelling Sendirian Berhad for their extensive tunnelling experience and technological know-how. The underground section stretches from Semantan to Maluri while passing through 7 underground stations: Museum Negara, Pasar Seni, Merdeka, Bukit Bintang, Tun Razak Exchange, Cochrane and Maluri. To build the tunnel, tunnel boring machines or TBMs were used to excavate rock and soil with special tools fixed on a rotating cutter head. MMC Gamuda KV MRT, working with German company Heron Connect, came up with a revolutionary kind of machine, the variable density TBM, the first of its kind in the world. The first variable density TBM arrived in Malaysia in the beginning of 2013. Transporting the TBMs to the sites through Kuala Lumpur was a challenge that needed detailed coordination. After 3 months of assembly, the first TBM was ready to begin mining. The launch of the first variable density TBM was officiated by the Prime Minister of Malaysia, Datuk Seri Najib Tun Razak on 30th May 2013.
Hari ini kita dapat menyaksikan pencapaian yang bermakna dalam perjalanan negara kita. Bukan saja untuk melakukan perubahan yang besar kepada sistem pengangkutan awam negara, tetapi signifikan projek MRT ini untuk Malaysia ditransformasikan sebagai negara berpendapatan.
The TBM is equipped with both excavate and build tunnel rings, which form the lining of the tunnel. Each ring consists of 7 segments and 1 keystone. A total of 11,500 segments were needed to line the dual 7.8-kilometer tunnels. Tunnel walls need to be strong enough to withstand extreme pressure and chemical attacks from the ground and water, and to also endure settlement caused by poor ground conditions. The tunnel segments were manufactured off-site at 3 different factories.
We are adopting the technology what we call steel fiber reinforced concrete, where we use a staple-like steel fiber to replace a conventional thick and heavy rebar. On top of that, we are using another fiber called polypropylene fiber to improve the fire-resistant properties of our segments.
8 TBMs were used for this project. 4 TBMs were launched from Cochrane, 2 TBMs from Semantan North Portal, 1 TBM from Inai Shaft, and 1 from Pudu Shaft. The MRT tunnelling project required thousands of workers over the 2-year period of construction, and MMC Gamuda set up an academy to train the hundreds of local workers needed for the underground construction works. The Tunnel Training Academy, TTA, was the first of its kind in the world, with the aim to develop a workforce of highly skilled Malaysians who are proficient in the specialized field of tunnel construction. To date, over 16,000 professional and skilled workers have been trained at the TTA in various fields to support the tunnel and underground construction works, in particular for the KV MRT project.
Benda ni mesin baru, banyak benda yang kita kena belajar. Engineer dan senior banyak tunjuk ajar kat saya daripada mula sampai sekarang lah. Dah faham pasal TBM ni. Bagi pendapat saya, masa depan kerja dalam tunneling ni agak cerah lah sebab ni baru first project MRT. Mungkin lepas ni ada lagi.
Saya bekerja di TBM, saya diberi tugas jaga piping belakang. Saya rasa bangga dapat bekerja di projek terbesar di Malaysia.
I think the training of locals is very important. You need people to have the expertise. They've gone through the training school to learn the basics, and then they've actually been put out on site and seen it in action, and that's enhancing their skills.
The first 2 TBM breakthroughs were at the Museum Negara station on 24th December 2013 and 16th January 2014. The machines were then pulled through and relaunched to continue tunneling towards the Pasar Seni station. On 24th April 2014, the 5th breakthrough occurred at Maluri South Portal with a big splash. This was the midpoint of the tunneling works.
Ini merupakan satu kejayaan yang paling bersejarah yang mana kita punya mesin yang ketiga breakthrough daripada Cochrane ke Maluri South Portal.
We have a lot of challenges in this 4-5 month work. Yeah, feel great and happy.
Ini pengalaman yang berharga bagi seorang rakyat Malaysia yang sanggup bekerja dalam tanda ini daripada awal hingga habis.
While construction of the tunnels are in progress, work is carried out on the 7 stations. Located right beside the Museum Negara station is connected to the KL Central Transport Hub. One big challenge here is to ensure the safety of the National Heritage Building. Daily monitoring works are carried out on the structure and the picture murals.
During the construction, we have allocated more than 200 numbers of instrumentation to monitor the Museum Negara building condition through all the days of our construction.
The Pasar Seni station is located in Chinatown and connects to the existing Pasar Seni LRT station. Construction of this station required extensive protection of electrical cables that is part of the national grid.
While we were doing excavation, we got a big surprise. We found 132 kV cable. This cable carries power for a third of Kuala Lumpur. A power cut here could cripple part of the city. We cannot afford that to happen.
A steel protection box had to be constructed to protect the 132 kilovolt cables located beneath the road.
The authorities insisted the cable to stay in place. It cannot be moved at all. So the only option left for us was to build a steel box to support the cable so that we can work and excavate underneath.
All excavation works at the Pasar Seni station have been completed without any power disruption to the city. The Merdeka station is located close to the Stadium Merdeka and Stadium Negara. Over 30 meters deep, steel struts were required during the excavation works.
The main challenge of this station is to construct 6 layers of strutting. We use up to 4,000 tons of steel in order to provide the earth retaining system strutting for our station.
Located in the heart of the Golden Triangle, the Bukit Bintang station is constructed in phases to ensure that traffic is not disrupted.
So the challenges for this area is traffic, definitely, because we have restricted hours. There are a lot of cars, and also people are a lot public. Our challenges facing here is basically want to maintain the environment here with a minimal disturbance.
The Tun Razak Exchange Station is located nearby the future Tun Razak Exchange development. This is the deepest underground station with a depth of 45 meters. It is built to connect with the future Line 2, the Sungai Buloh Serdang Putrajaya line. The Cochrane station is within an area being transformed by large urban regeneration projects. Over 35 meters deep, the station works are moving forward quickly. Located beneath Jalan Cheras, the Maluri station was constructed in stages to ensure continuous traffic flow. On 11th April 2015, the last TBM finally arrived and broke through at the Pasar Seni station. It is a thrilling moment for the engineers and tunneling team. The machine is the first TBM launched in the project from Cochrane, and it has mined the longest distance of 5 kilometers.
I'm very happy. My team performed very well, and in fact we are for tunneling a few percent ahead of schedule. And it's all dedicated to this team of people who work so hard. This is the last breakthrough. I have attended a few breakthroughs, all done very well. It's very good.
we have proven ourselves. You can see 10 TPM already been successfully implemented and completed and without any problem to the surrounding. So you can see it's proven already. So I think we are very happy now. And we are very confident that we can do more for the next coming future.
Sebagai anak tempatan, saya rasa bangga lah.
Saya rasa bangga dapat mengambilkan projek ini dengan jayanya.
The success of the variable density TBM resulted in a 95% reduction in the incidence of sinkholes for the KV MRT Sungai Buloh Kajang line compared to tunneling for the smart tunnel under the same geological conditions. The astounding innovation of the variable density TBM was internationally recognized and was awarded the International Tunneling and Underground Space Awards 2014 for the Technical Innovation of the Year category. As tunneling works have been completed, the TBMs were retrieved and sent to the TBM refurbishment plant located in Pusing, Perak. Here, the TBMs are being cleaned and their sensitive electrical components disassembled for storage in preparation for future projects. The facility, the first in Malaysia, will enable the transfer of TBM refurbishment technology to Malaysians. As work progresses at the underground work sites, accidents are the biggest worry for the construction team. To ensure that the teams are prepared, drills are carried out regularly. Accidents at the underground sites can be catastrophic to the construction progress. To ensure that the teams are prepared, emergency and rescue drills are conducted frequently.
Every 6 months, we have to carry out the emergency drill to give exercise to all of our workers. If the actual incident happens, we are prepared for the incident.
The teams are tested on how well they can respond to an emergency and to evaluate their actions and response time.
We want to ensure that the emergency response team is always prepared and ready in the event that a real emergency happens.
At all the underground sites, engineers and workers are trained on safety awareness. MMC Gamuda KV MRT Tunneling Sendirian Berhad has raised the delivery and safety benchmark for the local construction industry to be on par with international standards. Monthly audits are done by safety officers at each site to ensure they adhere to all safety requirements.
This is our company policy to ensure that workers are safe to work here. So we are doing a routine monthly audit to ensure those safety rules and regulations are complying to ensure the site is safe to work. Of course, the workers is our value asset, so make sure those who are working here are safe.
In April 2015, MMC Gamuda KV MRT has been announced a winner of the International Safety Award with distinction from the British Safety Council in recognition of its commitment to health and safety management. Once tunneling had been completed, concreting of the tunnel base was carried out. Laying of the tracks for the underground section and the elevated sections were done concurrently.
On the main line end to end, we use the slab track. Using resilient base plate to accommodate, to mount the rail so as to minimize any noise and vibration of the track.
To reduce noise pollution along the alignment, noise barriers are also installed.
When we were doing the design, there were certain areas that was very close to residential areas. And what we did was we engaged noise consultants to do simulations to see what the noise level would be when the trains start operation.
The Institute of Noise and Vibration University Technology Malaysia is a national center of excellence in noise and vibration. And we undertook detailed analysis to determine locations that may be affected by noise and vibration along the entire alignment. We were then involved in the detailed design of noise and vibration mitigation measures along the alignment.
As advised by the consultants, 3 types of noise barriers were installed to control the noise propagated by the train operation.
The first time is a short vertical kind of barrier. The second is a bit higher. It has a small canopy towards the inside that mitigates the noise further. And the third category is a full enclosure to maximize the suppression of the noise generated.
Along the Sungai Buloh Kajang alignment, there are 24 elevated stations that all have a unifying design and look.
They wanted an identity to the station, and they wanted a master identity to the line. So the way he just always looks at design is that we look at the essence and we look for something that's going to express something Malaysian about the station.
The design and concept of the elevated stations are inspired from the Malay Wakaf, a traditional shelter for travellers.
The idea of the station was, we call it wakaf, wakaf being a sort of pavilion structure that you find usually in the landscape, synonymous with paddy fields and things like this. But the idea of wakaf is also that the transportation is a sort of a gift to the people. It's something for the people.
In keeping with the Malaysian identity, the station design is in tune with the country's environment.
It should become a tropical station. You know it's a tropical station. So what's the first thing? It's big overhang roofs, natural daylight, naturally ventilated, some sense of greenery, public plaza attached to that. So these were all a series of ideas under the umbrella of the concept of a wakaf.
Sustainability was also a main consideration.
A repetitive design, obviously, there is some efficiency to doing that kind of design. In terms of construction, you can do all the prefabrication of all of this off-site. So there is a sustainable component to making all of them consistently in one kind of design.
The extended overhangs of the station's roof will help reduce direct sunlight and incoming rain.
These structures have huge roofs. They are collecting rainwater for basically all the toilet facilities and water use within the building, and later to harvest solar with PV cells on top of it. So all of that they already actually integrated into the design.
To minimize power consumption, the train traction power system has also been designed to accept regenerated electricity as the trains decelerate.
They're actually implementing brake pad energy, energy from brake pads from the trains itself onto the energy collection for the buildings. So they're adopting a few of these elements of sustainability within the building.
For the underground stations, the architectural design concept for the ground-level entrance structures are inspired by the multifaceted quartz formation of Kuala Lumpur's Klang Gates Quartz Ridge. The 16-kilometer long ridge is the longest of its kind in the world.
We took inspiration from it, and in that the shape, the multifaceted shape of the quartz crystal and its multi-coloured reflections sort of resonate with the multiracial spirit and the cultural richness of Malaysia.
Each underground station has individual design themes that reflect each station's unique site and historical context. Museum Negara Station is located next to the National Museum. The theme, Transition, is based on the museum as a treasure trove of all things old in contrast to its neighbouring new development. At its concourse level, columns with glass cladding depicting modes of public transport from yesteryears provide a sense of nostalgia in an otherwise sleek and contemporary station interior. Pasar Seni Station is located nearby the meeting point between Sungai Klang and Sungai Gombak, thus the theme Confluence. Being the birthplace of Kuala Lumpur, the concept of the interior design is a tribute to this confluence by stylizing its Y shape into a contemporary design motive. Merdeka Station is located nearby Stadium Merdeka, where independence was proclaimed in 1957. The theme for the station is Independence. Here, patriotic images will be featured, including the proclamation of Merdeka by the late Tunku, as well as text of the Rukun Negara. This station will be integrated with the future KL 118 development, which will be the tallest building in Malaysia. The Bukit Bintang Station is located at the Golden Triangle of Kuala Lumpur, a place that never sleeps. The theme of the station is dynamic. The ever-present dynamism and vibrancy of this area is expressed in a bold, 4-story high feature wall composed of a dynamic trapezoidal geometry in different tones of red that suggest movement. The Tun Razak Exchange Station is located at Kuala Lumpur's future financial district. As Malaysia is at the forefront of Islamic finance, the theme of this station is Islamic Corporate. The station design will project an Islamic identity with contemporary, formal and corporate ambience. Islamic motifs will be expressed in the columns, walls and ceiling. Both Cochrane and Maluri stations are located in parts of Kuala Lumpur, which are currently being transformed by 2 large urban regeneration projects. It is envisaged that both stations will play a major role in injecting vibrancy to the site contexts. The theme for Cochrane Station is urban living, while for Maluri Station is new generation. In both stations, a combination of colours are used to bring a fresh, fun and cheerful ambience. Another unique feature of the underground stations is the concept of incorporating ideas by local young talents to design the bench for each of the stations. An Art Express initiative, a bench design competition was introduced by MMC Gamuda KV MRT.
We decided to invite younger talent, younger brains from colleges and universities to participate in a competition where they could come up with something.
After going through a judging process, the final 3 designs were displayed at New Central. Here, the public were able to vote for their favorite bench design.
I think it's great in having different designs, a variety to choose from, and having it displayed, the public can choose from it.
Excited lah sebab dia punya design benches tu semua menarik. Lepas tu dia punya station punya design pun menarik lah, very modern design.
Saya rasa itu satu pendekatan yang bagus lah untuk pengguna untuk memilih apa yang diorang rasa kepuasan mereka dan apa yang diorang rasa seronok lah.
We think with this approach we can involve the public and they use the stations more than anybody else, and it's for their comfort and for their use. We've had a very good response. I understand it's about 2,500 votes per day being cast, and we should have fairly good response in terms of overall cross-section from the community.
MMC Gamuda KV MRT, together with MRT Corporation, finalized the winning designs on 26 February 2016.
We've had 6 winners, and I think we've seen some great talent today, some great designers for the future. I think everybody's very excited. They're very proud of what they've produced. I'm very happy because I think we've got some really nice designs that are going to go into our underground stations.
On 15th December 2015, emergency rescue responders from 8 fire stations were rushed to the Filio Damansara MRT station. An emergency rescue scenario is underway. A fire has broken out at the station platform, and the driver of an approaching works train slams the brakes, causing 2 workers on board to fall and be trapped. MMC Gamuda KV MRT, together with MRT Corporation, has set certain emergency regulations at all work sites.
When the incident happens, the first responder have to notify the control center in Lumpur, and he will activate the emergency services. We have actually a few procedures in place, and what I see from them, they're actually quite good because they can apply the procedures.
These exercises is also critical for the emergency rescue services.
We need to do this drill because we need to be familiarized, and also we need to help Bomba to familiarize on how to act in events of emergency, especially on the viaduct. This is something quite new in Malaysia, to rescue people from the viaduct at an elevated platform.
The emergency drill was a success. This effort is part of the MRT Corporation and MMC Gamuda's initiative of introducing a zero-tolerance program.
It's utmost importance because when we talk about safety, we're talking about people's lives. Anything could happen because these boys on the ground, they work 24/7. We can't avoid incidences, yeah? But we must be able to find a way to mitigate the risk of having incidences.
With this program, tighter supervision, streamlined checks and approval procedures are done to ensure worksite efficiency and that safety compliances are met.
Apart from the team that we have, the contractors have on the ground looking after the safety of everybody involved in the project, we are going to put in additional personnel to make sure that they focus on certain very, very high-risk areas and high-risk activities.
The Zero Tolerance Program allows safety superintendents to halt works immediately if construction does not comply with the method statement and safety measures. Toolbox talks are also carried out on a daily basis at the beginning of every work shift.
Safety! Safety! Di setiap tapak pembinaan, dia akan buat satu general toolbox talk. Di situ mereka akan membincangkan berkenaan dengan pekerjaan yang akan dilakukan, tahap-tahap keselamatan yang perlu diambil untuk mengelakkan daripada kejadian dan juga apa peralatan-peralatan yang diperlukan untuk melakukan pekerjaan tersebut.
MRT Corporation and MMC Gamuda has launched the KV MRT Training Centre. This training centre is a platform for training based on enhanced occupational safety and health program for the KV MRT project. On October 2012, the consortium SSSC, a partnership between Siemens Malaysia, Siemens AG and SMH Rail, was awarded the contract to supply 58 new driverless 4-car metro trains for the Klang Valley Mass Rapid Transit Sungai Buloh Kajang line.
Siemens SMH Consortium is the so-called design-build contractor. So they are responsible for the detailed design and production of the different parts and the assembly, installation, and the testing and commissioning here on site.
For this KV MRT project, the trains are designed by BMW Group Design Works USA and engineered by Siemens AG. The theme, Guiding Light, was chosen for the external design for the train. The theme represents strong and solid character as well as modernity and timelessness. The interior part of the train is designed to not only be aesthetically pleasing, but to offer a high standard of comfort for passengers. Components of the train come from all around the world. The mechanical and electrical components come from several countries in Europe, while the train's car body comes from China. The parts are shipped and assembled together at Malaysia's very first train assembly plant, located at Rasa, Hulu Selangor.
For a full set of production in Rasa, it takes around 45 days for a train set. This is the first full-fledged assembly plant in Malaysia. Every single thing, the interiors, the exteriors, every single component here is fitted in Malaysia.
After all the components are installed, the trains will go through a series of tests to ensure that everything is in place and installed precisely.
We have tens of thousands of wires to be tested. So we have this computerized wiring testing machine, It can test the functionality and the insulation and the continuity of all those wires automatically.
The trains are also put through a water test.
We will carry out the so-called water test to make sure that when the trains are put into service later, it will not leak, under the heavy rain of Malaysia.
After all tests are carried out, the completed train sets are transported to the Sungai Buloh depot. With the size of 162 acres, it is the biggest train depot in Southeast Asia.
This depot can house 60 trains of Line 1, and we can also accommodate another more than 40 trains for Line 2. So it is a huge depot, and it has all the equipment that can support the overhaul and heavy maintenance in addition to the light maintenance of the train for Line 1 and Line 2.
At the Sungai Buloh depot, trains are programmed to commence the testing daily according to the actual schedule of the trains. After a whole day of dynamic testing along the 1-kilometer testing track, the trains then return to its designated parking space at the train stabling yard. To further test the system that is in place, the trains are taken to the main line to be tested on the tracks.
We've now put a train actually on the viaduct to do some tests, and the public will actually see that at the beginning, starting very slowly, building up, but eventually will be running quite reasonably fast over a section, to demonstrate that the train can meet its speed. So this is another good achievement.
The trains are of the latest technology. Its state-of-the-art integrated train automation system will ensure a reliable and a highly efficient operation.
One feature of our MRT system here is that we use driverless system. So all the trains can be operated automatically by themselves. It's one of the longest fully automatic MRT system in the world.
Each train is made up of 4 cars with a width of 3.1 meters. They are able to accommodate up to 1,500 passengers per ride.
We can run 33 trains per hour. So in each direction during the peak hour, we can carry 40,000 passengers per hour. So you can imagine from both directions, we can actually carry 80,000 passengers into the city center. And we are taking away, tens of thousands of cars from the city center, which is tremendous, saving to the environment.
Dynamic maps displayed all over the train gives real-time information for the passengers.
You can see the stations, and the next station, and also other video that can introduce what is around the area, okay, and which side of the door will open. So it's very informative and it's configurable, very user-friendly. Unlike the old days, you have only dots to show where it is.
The trains are also equipped with enhanced safety features, with surveillance cameras installed on the outside and inside of the train.
We have 42 cameras per train, so we make sure that the passengers on board are safe and they will feel the security of it, and they will feel comfortable to travel on the train.
In the event of an emergency, the passengers are able to communicate with the control center via the built-in emergency intercom with an integrated camera.
When a passenger pushes the button, actually the OCC operator will automatically see his face and see what is going wrong. So you can see that it is a very advanced in feature. It's a latest application of this kind of technology.
With enhanced safety and security put in place, the KV MRT trains also meets the international standards for fire protection. The train is also designed to be environmentally friendly. It is built with sustainable materials and has high recyclability at the end of the train's service life. It also employs highly efficient air conditioning, lighting and braking systems that reduce energy consumption. As of June 2016, 37 trains have already been delivered and are currently stationed inside the train depot. On 11th November 2015, the Prime Minister of Malaysia, Datuk Seri Najib Tun Razak, visited the Sungai Buloh depot.
Saya amat puas hati dan saya doa semoga company yang kita telah rancangan dan kita jadualkan menjelang akhir tahun hadapan line pertama MRT Malaysia dapat beroperasi dan dilakukan.
As the project is entering an exciting phase of testing the trains along the alignment, the public is waiting in excitement for the MRT to be in operation by the end of 2016.
Definitely, I'm excited to use MRT system for a simple reason. I don't have to spend about close to 4 hours a day on the road unproductively.
I'm pretty excited about the upcoming MRT, so I hope everyone can leverage on it and hopefully improve the way of we move around.
Saya rasa sangat gembira dengan lega MRT dah siap. Saya boleh visit rumah kawan saya yang jauh walaupun guna MRT pun dia cepat nak sampai, tak payah nak tempuh jam semua dan dia sangat eco-friendly.
Saya berasa amat gembira bila dengar MRT dah nak siap lah. Especially bila dia dapat menghubungkan antara kawasan Kajang dengan Sungai Buloh sebab kita tahu dua kawasan tu kawasan yang sangat congested. So dengan adanya MRT ni dia dapat mempercepatkan perjalanan dalam masa yang sama mengurangkan kos dah dan dia dapat membantu kos sara hidup rakyat.
After more than 4 years, the completion of the Sungai Buloh Kajang line is in sight.
We're doing great. We are on track. In fact, if you can see now, a few trains now being tested. So for phase 1 from Sungai Buloh until Semantan, which is about 12 stations, it's going to be fully operational by December. I'm very confident that's going to be achieved. And for phase 2 from Semantan until Kajang. That will be July 2017. And I'm looking forward for it to be operational so that Malaysia can become a much more livable place to live.